G'day, hey look, we've had a bunch of clients come through and ask us about what the deal is with these government stimulus package announcements and what does it mean for us. So what I have managed to do is collate a few of the news sources and just give a bit of an understanding. So hopefully you guys will find this. So basically there was a big $12 billion package announced yesterday with a bunch of stuff coming out, being published in Stuff. And really there's been a little bit of a download done by PwC, Wolters Kluwer, all the sort of big legislation and accounting sort of names in the industry, having a bit of a rundown of things and provide a little bit more detail once they've gone through stuff. So look, this is an announcement with these benefits are taking place now. But remember, we've also got a budget which is due on I think it's the 14th of May, which will probably have further stimulus options in there in terms of stuff that the government's rolling out, maybe some tax changes, all those sorts of things, a change in the budget compared to what they were probably looking at. So this is really just a short-term injection into the economy, as opposed to like a long-term, hey look, this isn't going to help us in the next 18 months sort of scenario. That's what the budget's for. So no doubt when the budget comes around in May, there'll be some more stuff. So I'm just going to run through what has been announced yesterday and what it means for you as a business owner. So basically, probably the biggest one is the wage subsidy. So how it's structured is based on either full-time or part-time employees get a certain dollar value, and the number of employees that you've got, that times the 12 weeks times the amount is what the lump sum payment would be. And to qualify for the lump sum payment at this stage, you've got to show that in one of the months between January this year, so January 2020 and June 2020, you've had a decrease of 30% or more in revenue, and that has been due to the COVID-19 restrictions, exports, etc., and the shutdown there. So there is a maximum of $150,000 as a lump sum payment, and it's been run through Ministry of Social Development. So there is a web page on the MSD website now which you can apply and put your details in. You need things like your business name, ID number, NZNB, New Zealand Business, NZBN, and you can apply there. There will be some forms and some questions that they ask you as to how many staff you've got, all those sorts of things, and proof. But once you clear all those hurdles, they'll send you a cheque. So that's probably the key one, and will be the most benefit to a number of businesses. It doesn't necessarily mean, hey look, I haven't qualified in the last 3 months, will I not get it? It'll run through all the way through till June, so as long as you can show in 1 month in that period that your sales have dropped by 30%, then you can qualify. And there's a couple of other things that they've talked about, which are some tax relief stuff, so stuff that we kind of do day to day, and will probably have some impact for a number of our clients as well. So they talked about reintroducing depreciation on buildings. So this is only for commercial and industrial buildings. It's not for those who own rental properties and houses and apartments. There'll be no depreciation for you guys. It's just for retail, commercial, warehouses. Those people that own those types of assets, they'll get a 2% depreciation allowance on the value of their building. So there's still some work to be done around that. In terms of there's also been some changes around the assets and what's an asset and what isn't an asset. So up until a couple of days ago, anything that you spent on what would be considered an asset, like a phone, a computer, a car, those sorts of things, if it was under $500, you could claim it as an expense in that year. Heaps of beeping. Oh, that might just be the printer next to me printing off, so I might just turn that off. this thing off. That'll look. Anyway. So basically they've changed the deduction amount that you can claim for a fixed asset. So it's normally $500. Anything under $500 you can claim. Anything over $500 you have to depreciate. That is now being raised to $5,000. So quite big. So if you were going to go and buy a new laptop for $2,000, you'd normally depreciate it. Now you can claim it all in one big hit. In terms of, so if you can't make your payments, ID is going to have a system where if you're a little bit late regarding your GST payments, your PAYE, income tax, all that kind of stuff, then they will have an allowance to be able to write off some of that interest. Normally it's quite a difficult process and requires forms and stuff like that, but they're actually making that a little bit easier. The other big impact is what happens if I'm an employer and one of my team is caught up, test positive for COVID-19, and they have to stay at home. They've got their 2-week isolation. Well, one thing that has been also announced as part of the package is that those that are required to isolate or look after somebody, so think about kids, if they are required to isolate, then there is a government contribution of $585 a week, I think it is, which will be run through the hold on, Jonathan, I'll get to you in a minute, mate. Which will run through businesses and the employers and be paid out to those that are required to be isolated. So that's the 14-day self-isolation, that sort of thing. It's basically designed to give some money to those people who may not be able to work, can't work from home. You're thinking, who might be working in retail. Think about them. If they can't turn up to work, it's not a job they can do from home. So, yeah. In terms of the wage subsidies, yes, there are some subsidies also for the self-employed. They haven't specifically talked about them, but there is, if you go to the MSD website, there is actually an ability to apply for relief as a self-employed person. So my guess is what they're actually going to do is they're going to treat them very much like employees, and they'll qualify for the $585 a week, the $585 payment. But yeah, we're still missing out on a bit of detail as to how it would help the likes of self-employed. It's really, the announcements at the moment are really designed at making sure that businesses just don't start cutting people left, right, and centre. Making all these job cuts. Some of the bigger players, the likes of Air New Zealand, have already talked about these sorts of things, because for them, an announcement like this isn't really going to help them, because their weekly wage bill is more than $150,000 for those people that they have or are thinking about reducing their numbers down by. So for them, for Air New Zealand, the pet care package announced yesterday is going to be no benefit. Also, who else is going to receive some money out of this is they're going to increase the benefit by $25 per week, and they're also going to make some changes as to how the working for families is calculated as well, basically removing some of the hurdles in regards to that. So I think probably a really positive thing. What the logic behind that is for the government is what they're trying to do is they're trying to get flows to go through the economy. So they kind of feel that, hey, look, if we give some more money to the those that are beneficiaries, then they generally spend it. Beneficiaries aren't known for being strong savers, and so the idea is if we give the beneficiaries more, then they will spend more, and they're more likely to spend more at things like supermarkets, real grassroots retail, and so hence the reason why they're putting more money in their pockets. The other announcement they made is about the winter energy payments. So a couple of years ago, when power prices and the likes of that were skyrocketing, the government's like, hey, look, superannuitants and beneficiaries, you guys can have some extra money. I think it's a one-off payment. I think it was $900 or something like that a year, and that will help you pay for your power bill. And so what they've done is they've basically doubled that. I just need to pull those figures off, but I think it's, don't pull anybody's fingers off, just pull the figures, Jono, just pull the figures. I think it was increased to $900 for a single person and $1,700 for a couple. But unfortunately, there's no one source of truth when it comes to digesting what's actually going on in terms of the announcement, because the announcement didn't really have a lot of detail in it. Support for individuals, what have we got here? There's that winter energy payment section. Yeah, so I was just having a look at the PwC release, and they haven't talked about it at all. I haven't been able to find it in CCH, but I did see it in the staff release in terms of the winter energy payment. So for those, look, I think it's really good. I mean, my mum and dad are both superannuitants, and so I think giving a little bit of extra money for them in terms of cover their power bill, I think is going to be a positive. But yeah, so I guess in a nutshell, that's really the the major changes. Look, there's also some stuff about provisional tax threshold increase, but hey, look, most people won't care about that. Only the accountants do, so I'm not going to bother with that. But look, there's probably going to be some more relief in May once the budget's released, once we're a little bit further down the track and understanding what the impact's likely to be. Look, we're going to get some more info, we're probably going to get some more help. So the key thing is if you've got anybody who can clearly show that they've had their revenue drop by about 30%, then there's some real immediate benefit that we can get into those businesses right now, especially if they're employing. So look, that's it. We'll keep a day-to-day. We are thinking very much about putting together a little summary of things that you can do to help your business through the little downturn that we've got, and I'll be looking at putting a video together for that soonish. So yeah, so it's not all doom and gloom. There's actually quite a little bit of opportunity that's actually looks like that it's coming out of the pipeline due to this little blip in the economy. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for watching and taking part. And yeah. Look, if you've got any questions, get on Facebook, chuck it through Messenger, and we'll do another live and keep on top of this so that we can make sure that everybody's got enough knowledge, because there's a lot of this stuff that needs a little bit of a filter and a little bit of detail. So yeah, hey, look, take care guys, and let me know if you've got any questions. Thanks for watching.